When you think about those back-to-back Lakers championships, the first image is usually Kobe Bryant, cold-blooded, unstoppable, willing the team to victory. But here's the thing, those Lakers were never really a single-star operation. The gap between Kobe and Pau Gasol was significant, wider than the gap between Shaq and Kobe in the early 2000s or even LeBron and AD in 2020. But that gap does not tell the full story. It does not explain why Gasol was essential to making those Lakers work. Kobe Bryant was one of the most prolific scorers the league has ever seen. He was a high-volume, high-pressure scoring machine, reasonably efficient for his era, but not the kind of modern efficiency cheat code that bends every roster by itself. Even the greatest scorers need a supporting cast built around what their style demands. For Kobe, that meant size, defense, rebounding, and enough passing to keep the offense from becoming pure isolation. The Lakers' Twin Tower lineup, Andrew Bynum and Pau Gasol, was arguably the most Kobe-friendly frontcourt in the league. Gasol was unusual at the power forward position. He gave the Lakers size, rebounding, straight-up rim protection, and real skill around the basket. He could finish in tight spaces, pass from the high post, and operate without crowding Bynum's area inside. That combination made the Twin Tower idea work on both ends of the floor. He was not the loudest part of the machine, but he was the part that made several other pieces fit. Beyond the defensive structure, Gasol's low-post game and passing were critical for maintaining offensive flow when Kobe was not isolating. Kobe could absorb an enormous number of possessions, but that is not how sustainable offense works over a full playoff run. To save energy and keep the entire team engaged, the Lakers needed more of their offense to come from the regular system, not just hero ball. Gasol provided that. He was the perfect safety valve, a big man who could read the defense, make the right pass, and score efficiently when needed. And the Lakers were not only Kobe and Pau. Lamar Odom off the bench gave them another versatile playmaker. Bynum handled size and physicality, Gasol connected those pieces. The offense was deeper than it looked if you only judged it by who took the hardest shots. So what was Gasol's actual ceiling? Offensively, he was a star-level talent, but not an elite first option. He could punish matchups, pass from the post, and keep the offense organized. But he was not the primary scoring engine of a championship team. The soft label that followed him was unfair, but against truly physical defenders, his athletic limitations did show. He had crafty finishing moves around the rim, but he was nowhere near Nikola Jokic's level as an offensive hub. He also could not put constant pressure on the rim, and he did not have Dirk Nowitzki's jumper or perimeter skill. That left his offense in the very good tier, not the elite tier. A fair comparison might be DeMar DeRozan, good enough to carry a regular season offense for stretches, but not the player you want as the only engine deep in the playoffs. Defensively, Gasol had real strengths, but he was not a full-time defensive anchor. He had excellent height and wingspan, solid paint protection, and dependable rebounding. His basketball IQ and positioning were strong, but his athleticism put a ceiling on what he could do. He could not consistently stonewall the most physical post scorers by himself. In today's game, that might be less of a problem. In the late 2000s, it mattered. His lateral quickness was never a real strength. He was average at best in pick-and-roll coverage, and he was not built to switch or roam like a modern defensive big. As a center, his defense was merely adequate. But as a power forward, with Bynum absorbing the hardest interior assignments, Gasol's size became a major advantage. The league's shooting and pick-and-roll skill were not advanced enough yet to punish every mobility weakness. Later in his career, when Gasol moved back to center with the Bulls, he put up nearly 20 and 10 again. That was not a coincidence. The league had become smaller and less post-oriented. His size and skill became assets again, instead of liabilities. So where does Pau Gasol ultimately land? He was an offensively talented big man who was better at the 4 than the 5. This is the classic best player on a lower-tier team profile. Think of DeMar DeRozan, Karl Anthony Towns, Domantas Sabonis, or former stars like Kevin Love and Chris Bosh. They are all-stars. If they make an all-NBA team, it is a pleasant surprise, but not shocking. MVP? Usually not the first thought, even if they occasionally appear on the edge of the conversation. In that tier, Gasol's individual ceiling is a little lower because he did not have one overwhelming skill you could build an entire contender around. DeRozan is a perimeter scorer. Towns at center has historically great offensive production. Prime Kevin Love was a statistical machine. Gasol was quieter and less flashy. But here is the twist. Gasol had the best possible environment for his skill set. Bynum handled the dirty work inside, Kobe handled the scoring burden. Gasol played the 4, and that amplified both his offensive and defensive value. It is similar to what we are seeing with Karl Anthony Towns in New York. Put the right defensive structure and the right high-usage scorer around him, and the flaws become manageable while the strengths shine. Kevin Love, for example, could survive as a starting center until the Golden State Warriors dynasty forced every weakness into the open. Gasol, in contrast, landed in the perfect complementary role, and that role might have raised his standing. Saying he was top 10 is probably aggressive, but top 20, maybe even top 15 during those peak Lakers years, is a real conversation. That is the paradox. Many stars see their reputation shrink when they go from being the man on a bad team to a supporting role on a contender. Gasol's reputation grew. He became a Hall of Famer, a champion, a Lakers legend. He was not the dominant superstar of that dynasty, but he was the perfect piece. And in the NBA, the perfect piece in the right context can matter more than bigger numbers in the wrong one.